If you'd asked me a year ago who my ride or die was, I would have said Alex without hesitation. We met in middle school, both kind of awkward, both outsiders, both obsessed with the same stupid memes and late-night gaming. It didn't take long for us to become inseparable. People joked we were brothers who just happened to be born into different families. He was at my house more than his own. We celebrated every birthday together, pulled all-nighters before exams, and covered for each other whenever we got into trouble. By high school, we shared everything. Secrets, dreams, heartbreaks, even money when one of us was short. He knew things about me that nobody else did, things I'd never dream of telling anyone else. He was there the night my girlfriend dumped me and the morning after my dog died. When I landed my first internship, he was the first to congratulate me. When he got scouted for varsity, I cheered the loudest. People said they envied our friendship. We even had plans to move to the same city after graduation, get an apartment, and run this town together. It was all locked in. But as I learned the hard way, not every friendship is what it seems. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones holding the knife. Looking back, there were warning signs, little cracks in the foundation that I was too loyal to see. I guess everyone has to learn the hard way at least once. And trust me, when the betrayal came, it hurt worse than any breakup. It started off small, almost invisible, like a hairline fracture you don't notice until the whole thing shatters. Alex started hanging out with a new group at school. At first, I was happy for him. He'd always wanted to be part of the in crowd, and now he was getting invited to parties, showing up in group pics on Instagram, even getting tagged in stories with the popular kids. I didn't think much of it. I figured we were both growing up, making new connections. I wanted to support him, but little things started to feel off. He stopped replying to my texts as quickly. He'd flake on plans last minute, always with some vague excuse. The weirdest part? People started looking at me differently in the halls. Some would whisper. A couple of girls who'd always been friendly suddenly ignored me. Then one day it hit me all at once. I overheard a conversation after school, a group from Alex's new clique, laughing about something. My name came up. I paused, hidden behind a row of lockers. Did you hear what he did last summer? Alex told us everything. Total psycho move. The laughter stung more than the words. It got worse. Rumors started flying. Stuff only Alex knew. Private things I'd told him in confidence were now public knowledge. The kind of secrets that make you want to crawl under a rock. My worst fears, my biggest mistakes, my most embarrassing moments, all turned into jokes for the whole school. When I finally confronted Alex, he just shrugged. Sorry, man, it was just for laughs. Chill out. That's when I realized he didn't just slip up. He'd chosen popularity over loyalty. And that's when the pain turned to anger. The rumors spread faster than I thought possible. I'd walk into class and feel every eye on me. Some people snickering, others just awkwardly looking away. Even teachers seemed colder, probably having heard the worst. My phone buzzed nonstop for days with texts from people I barely knew, pretending to be sympathetic just to squeeze out more gossip. The friends I thought I could count on? Half of them ghosted. The other half acted weird, never sure if the rumors were true, but too scared of social fallout to be seen with me. It was as if my entire social life had been reset to zero overnight. Home wasn't much better. My parents noticed I was quiet, but I couldn't explain. It's just school stuff, I'd mumble. But they knew something was up. I'd spend hours in my room, headphones on, hoping if I ignored the world long enough, it might forget about me. What cut deepest was Alex's complete lack of remorse. He was thriving, getting invited everywhere, hanging with the people who used to ignore us, acting like he'd finally made it. Sometimes he'd look at me in the halls and smirk, like he knew exactly what he'd done and didn't care at all. There was a point where I genuinely thought about switching schools just to start over. That's how far down I'd sunk. I trusted Alex with my worst, and he turned it into his best. That's when I realized, if I wanted to survive, I couldn't rely on anyone else. I had to help myself. And as I started to crawl out of the hole he'd thrown me in, I found something that changed everything. It's funny how, when you have nothing left to lose, you start paying attention to the things you used to ignore. One night, still wide awake at 2 a.m., I scrolled through my old group chats, desperate for a shred of normalcy. That's when I noticed something odd. Screenshots Alex had sent way back of a test he aced. Only it wasn't his handwriting, something I never picked up on before. Curious, I dug deeper. Remember that varsity spot Alex bragged about? Turns out he'd gotten it after a rival got mysteriously disqualified for plagiarism. But here's the kicker. I found out from a mutual friend that Alex was the one who tipped off the coaches, anonymously. The reason? The rival had beaten Alex at tryouts. Patterns started to emerge. A rumor about another friend's breakup. Alex was behind it. A teacher suddenly cold-shouldering a classmate. Alex had twisted the story just to win points with someone else. I started piecing it all together. Alex wasn't just a one-time backstabber, he was a serial manipulator. He'd thrown me under the bus for popularity, but I wasn't his first victim, or his last. But the smoking gun came when I checked my own social media. An old, forgotten email notification popped up. Someone had logged into my Instagram from a device I didn't recognize months ago. The same week rumors about my DMS started swirling. I'd finally found what I needed. Receipts, timelines, motives. Proof that Alex's whole rise to popularity was built on ruining other people. He thought he'd covered his tracks, but he forgot that the person he'd betrayed knew him better than anyone. It was time to get smart and get even.
I wasn't interested in stooping to Alex's level random rumors and petty drama. I wanted the truth to speak for itself. But I also knew that if I just blurted everything out, nobody would believe me. Alex had charmed everyone. He was untouchable. So I started slow, quiet, careful. First, I gathered evidence, screenshots of his old group chats where he'd trash talk people he now called friends. Email logs showing the suspicious Instagram login and the IP address, which matched his house thank you digital footprint. Anonymous tips I collected from classmates, some of whom had their own stories about Alex screwing them over for a laugh. Next, I looped in a couple of trusted people friends who had started to notice cracks in Alex's mask. I showed them the proof. At first, they were shocked. Then, they got angry. We agreed the reveal had to be public, undeniable, and all at once. The perfect opportunity arrived, the school's end-of-year party. The one night when everyone would be there, friends, classmates, teachers, even some parents. I asked a friend on the student tech team if he could help set up the projector for a fun surprise slideshow. He agreed, no questions asked. Meanwhile, I prepared a presentation, nothing flashy, just cold, hard truth. Screenshots, timelines, messages from Alex's own accounts, side by side with all the rumors he'd started and the people he'd hurt. No embellishments, no commentary, just the facts. The day before the party, I created an anonymous email account. I sent teasers of the evidence to key people, popular kids, teachers, even the coach who'd booted that rival player. Just enough to make everyone curious and skeptical, primed for something big. When party night came, my heart pounded out of my chest. But this time, it wasn't fear. It was adrenaline. Alex swaggered in like he owned the place, surrounded by his new crew, laughing and loud. When the lights dimmed for the slideshow, my friend hit play. What followed was a silent, minute-by-minute, unraveling of Alex's lies, every betrayal, every backstab, every fake rumor, every screenshot. As the truth unspooled in front of a stunned audience, you could hear a pin drop. When the lights came up, everyone was staring at Alex. He tried to bluster and deny, but the evidence was right there. Even his closest friends backed away. For once, Alex had nothing to say.
In the weeks that followed, everything changed. Alex's reputation never recovered. The truth spread faster than any of his rumors ever had. This time, people had receipts. He tried apologizing to some, threatening others, but it was too late. He was dropped from varsity. His new friends cut him off. Even his old crew wanted nothing to do with him. Some teachers even started treating him with a wary, cold distance. As for me, things weren't perfect, but they were better. The friends who had distanced themselves slowly started reaching out again. A few even apologized for believing the worst. New people came into my life, those who respected honesty over drama. It took time, but I rebuilt, stronger, smarter, and with a much better radar for real loyalty. The best part? I didn't have to brag or gloat. I let the story fade into the background and focused on moving forward. No one looked at me with pity anymore. They looked at me with respect. Some even asked for advice when they found themselves in messy situations. Every now and then, I'd see Alex in the hallway. He always looked away. I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. But then I remembered what real friendship is supposed to feel like. Trust, loyalty, support. And I realized I'd rather have no friends than the kind who hold the knife behind your back. That was the real revenge. I healed. I grew. And Alex? He lost everything he thought he'd won.